Welcome and welcome to the Houston Element Podcast. My name is Missy, and I'm your host. And today we have a gentleman that's reaching out to us all the way from New York City, coming to share us a little bit of some corporate business knowledge with us. He is the CEO and the founder of Expert Assistants. We are here with Kyle Ontra.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome.
So for those that are not familiar, you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a global recruitment firm. I'm pretty much an expert in placing people from the Philippines and South Africa and 20 plus other countries into American businesses. I think it's great. I think that not a lot of people know about virtual assistants, but a lot of people don't know how to actually place them correctly and efficiently in businesses. And I'm very, very good at this. And I think it's an opportunity that the world has not quite caught up to yet.
You make it sound simple enough kind of thing, but I know it is not nowhere near simple. I mean, if it was simple, a lot more folks would be doing it, but clearly you got the secret sauce when it comes to this kind of entrepreneurship and massive global network. So what made you start wanting to be in this field? What got you interested in trying to do this kind of work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've always been very entrepreneurial. I've had other businesses. I've had an outbound agency. And I was always just very, very good at placing executive assistants into businesses virtually, kind of by accident. I mean, with my outbound agency, I was doing my own cold calling for other companies, and you can kind of imagine how that would become pretty bottlenecked pretty quick. It's kind of hard to scale when you're on the phones all day. So like my first experience was just hiring cold callers overseas, and obviously they're not producing as well as I would on the phone, but at least 70 to 80% is good, and they can do 4 times the volume. So it was actually a better result for the clients. And that's when it really clicked for me, where I was like, oh, we should be doing this in a lot more places. And since I was very good at outbound, I ran my own outbound for the virtual assistant offer, and the traction was very, very good. The money followed. So I followed the money, and it's been very, very rewarding. It's interesting because every time I place an assistant, obviously I get paid the business scales that I'm helping, and then I find someone a job. So that's kind of how I got into it.
And it seems, a pretty fair and rewarding kind of, business venture kind of thing to do, because it's like you're doing your part by making the connections kind of things, but they're also helping other folks, who are stuck in a rut, like trying to find the right fit for work kind of thing. So you're helping each other out.
Of course, everyone wins in the process.
I love that. Now, I know you can't deliver the secret sauce kind of thing, and if we did, we don't have your talent. But working on your national scale is one thing, but working on a global scale is a whole nother skill set, talent. So how did you, which you can tell us, of course, how did you get comfortable with talking to different people from different backgrounds nationally to worldwide and such?
Yeah, I think a lot of it just kind of comes down to understanding that it's a great opportunity for the virtual assistant as well. A lot of people here, I pay people as low as $1 an hour, which is completely true. And if an American hears that, they're kind of like, they don't really understand the concept of that. They think it's exploitation or it's not real. They wouldn't perform. But the truth is that unemployment in some of the countries I hire is over 30%. So for people who think the American job market is bad, it's way, way worse overseas. So landing a virtual assistant role at one of these rates is genuinely one of the best things these people can do to feed their families. We're really changing lives. A lot of the people I work with have kids. I would say over 75% of the assistants that are placed with my clients have kids. Like, these are real families, real people that are able to provide now that they have this role that they wouldn't have otherwise.
Exactly. And, the currency difference is not the same everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, a dollar here can be $10 elsewhere, an equivalent kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And not to get gloomy, but it's like, yeah, some people may be just this close to throwing in the towel and saying, forget it. I'm just going to surrender to a vice or something. And you're giving them an opportunity to have a purpose. So
absolutely.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. So you have a wide variety of different kind of clients, from law firms to health professionals kind of things to bigger retail markets kind of things. So how did they found out to reach out to you? What is it that you've come to understand your customers like best about your services?
Yeah, I would say what they like the best is the speed in which I deliver and the guarantee. So obviously it takes us about 3 to 5 days from a client paying us to actually get a virtual assistant live and operating in their business, which is very, very fast. But on top of that, like I said, we were talking about the secret sauce earlier, I'm more than happy to give it away. The truth of the matter is that when you have countries with 30% unemployment, there's going to be a lot of people that are just applying to every single job that comes through. So that's where a lot of people actually run into issues when they're trying to hire globally, is they just maybe do 5, maybe 10 interviews if they're being thorough, and they just pick the best of the batch. But the reality is they didn't do nearly enough volume. Like I said, there are a lot of people that are going to apply to your roles that are completely unqualified and are not going to do a good job. So that's where working with an expert like myself really helps, because we do 100 interviews plus for every single client we deliver. And people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, and we can get it all done in 3 to 5 days. But the truth is that's just the amount of volume it takes to find someone qualified enough to actually deliver in the role that we're hiring for. So all of our clients are super happy. Well, I'll say 95%. We do get some outliers that are, most of them are just super happy when they get on the group interview and they meet the assistants. They're very, very impressed with the level of quality we bring them. And then, of course, when they actually start working, they're even more impressed. So it's very, very rewarding. And then we also give an unlimited replacement guarantee, because obviously I'm not perfect, and some virtual assistants don't necessarily deliver how they were going to interview. So in the case that, a client's not happy with their assistant or the assistant wants to quit, we offer unlimited free replacement. So it's pretty much insurance knowing that your employee is never going to churn. And if they do, you get another one completely for free. So a lot of them find security in that.
Well, hot dog. I mean, yeah, I mean, that is the epitome of a guarantee, if I ever heard one. You know what I'm saying? Hot dog.
Right.
Very impressive. Very impressive. One of the things that I was reading about on one of your stories from one of your clients that struck with me is finding a paralegal assistant. So
Right.
when I know you can't give every example because you do a lot of different kind of virtual assistant kind of things, but say, for example, when you're thinking of like someone working in law or, in the health professional kind of thing, and you're vetting all of your different applicants kind of thing, do you follow a similar kind of procedure vetting like the other kind of online interview folks do, like ZipRecruiter?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm more than happy to give away all the secret sauce, because once I tell you it, you're not going to want to do it. That's what makes it very, very interesting. But literally what we're doing is we're putting paid traffic behind, we have 10 plus different platforms that we go to. I'd say the most common are Indeed, LinkedIn. We handle with ZipRecruiter. Sometimes we go to Upwork or Fiverr. Very rarely will we go to something like Online Jobs, but what we're doing is we're just putting paid traffic behind all of those platforms. And then we have 3 full-time heads of recruitment at this point of filming this, who are supposed to go through all of those applicants, 1,500 plus, for every client we get, and then just sift through the resumes and see which clients would be the best fit. So we're taking that list of 1,500 and turning that into 100 to actually now get on a one-on-one interview. And now those 100 people, we narrow that list down to about the final, 3 to 5 applicants. So that's what I mean. I'm more than happy to give you the secret sauce. If you're a business owner and you have time to sift through 1,500 applicants and sit on 100 one-on-one interviews, then be my guest. You don't need me. But if you're a business owner who needs to make a hire and you want to hire virtually and you don't have the time to do all of that, you're really rolling the dice, because you're not going to meet someone as qualified as who we would bring you with that much volume. It's just the math. If you do 10 interviews and pick your favorite out of that, but we do 100, you're now 90% less likely to find a better applicant. So yeah, we help save a lot of time for our founders.
I would say so. I would say so. Yes. I was looking at your examples on your website, and yeah, looking at that calendar example of an individual trying to go through the interviews individually versus requesting help from a team like yourself. It's like, I'm sweating just looking at it. It's not even my calendar. Like, hot dog, man. It can be very overwhelming, very fast. The reason why I said earlier that your paralegal, example online really struck with me is because people can benefit from services like yourself because you're an expert on the matter. And formerly, years ago, I worked as a paralegal assistant, and I'm not a certified paralegal. So I believe when the person hired me, they really could have benefited from services like yourself, because I was fortunate to close one case in my docket, not being certified. So do you had any experience like from your customers telling you about like, oh man, since using your service, you won't believe the horror stories I went through before working with your service?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll pull that same lawyer as an example. Because he had a team of in-person, he had a secretary, he had some paralegals writing the documents, and he was really kind of taking a jump when it came to the virtual hires. And we've been working together for over 2 years now. So that's a good client of mine. I've given him some replacements and we've grown the team together, but he's literally outsourced his entire in-person team and he works with only virtual paralegals now. Now he still has an in-person secretary. But other than that, his whole team is virtual. We outsource 10 employees, with 5 virtual assistants in AI. So that's one of our best success stories, and that headline right there is kind of puts it in perspective what it is actually like, what these virtual assistants are actually capable of.
Wow. And, especially with this economy today, with gas prices, things like that, people issue with transportation, being able to work from home, especially having a family, this is a big game changer.
Right. Yeah, American businesses have never had the opportunity to access such high-level talent at such low prices. And people know what virtual assistants are, but there's so much horror stories around it. Someone hires and it doesn't go well, and then they end up ghosting, and now they're back when they started. But it's just because they're not being thorough enough with their vetting process. I guarantee you, if you put in the volume that we put, you would find a very, very good and qualified applicant for your role and be very happy. But a lot of people just don't have the time to do that, which is where we come in.
And so you were mentioning that sometimes you use the AI tools as well, kind of things, because you do a lot of things that is virtually based, services kind of thing. For some past generations, like not my generation per se, but, generations before who may not be used to caught up to speed with all this kind of recent technology. Have you been able to help, some of your potential clients as well to try to understand and navigate the platform that y'all use?
Yeah, of course. So I actually build out a lot of AI automations for our clients. And, the irony of it is that we actually hire people to build out the automations. But yes, and they're all virtual as well. That's the beauty of it. We can really hire everything. But yeah, we've built, receptionists for medical offices that will pick up unanswered calls and book meetings with these people. We've built complex, reporting systems and data integration for e-com stores that have 50 different products and needs a dashboard of exactly everything that's selling and their margins on each one. And AI tools are great. When you have an AI operation working effectively, it's fantastic because you never have to look at it again. But the thing a lot of people, I think, don't realize is that the amount of effort it's going to take to actually build out your automation correctly is going to be a lot. It's very, very hard to actually get it working the way you need it to work. And even if you do that, it's probably going to break on the back end and it's probably going to need some kind of maintenance. So it's not really off your plate. So whenever a business owner comes to me and asks me, should I outsource this with AI or should I outsource this with virtual assistants? 85% of the time, it's going to be virtual assistants. Like I said, when you don't have to think about the work and it's just entering data or maybe the same process being repeated over time, it's pretty easy to outsource it with AI. But I think there's a lot of smoke about how AI is going to take everyone's job and AI is going to replace everyone. But the reality of it is that it's very hard to get these systems working effectively, and they can't replace what a human can do. They can't make complex decisions. They can't really react to unexpected situations that come up inside of your business. It's good for very specific things, but I think people make it out like it's a lot more than it is.
Yes, I can agree with that. Like I'm a person that grew up when, the internet was only like 5 years old. Okay. So, that the AI thing is still kind of new to me as well, kind of thing. But, I'm just trying to be very pick and choosy about what I use it for until I have a better grasp of it. You know what I'm saying? But you and your team, building algorithm and automation aspects. Yeah, that's further than my level of expertise. And that's why we need folks like you to help us out for sure. For sure. Now, I know you do a lot of things, with virtual assistants, helping with all kinds of things like with scheduling and, paralegal, things of that nature kind of thing, whatever. But now today, especially social media management is a really big thing kind of thing. Do you have services as well that kind of help gear your clients helping with social media management as well?
Absolutely. We have tons of, social media management is so broad. We have tons of video editors, thumbnail designers, short form, long form. We have people that upload the content. We have people that actually strategize and create the strategy for the specific company they're working for. We don't really source people that will be the face of the camera and film. That's probably where we'll draw the line. But everything that goes into the back end operation of it can easily be outsourced with assistants. Yeah.
Oh man. Right now, I'm still a small LLC kind of thing. And I was looking at your bracket information, saying, what kind of business is best geared for that. And I was like, man, let me get in that 10K folder and I'm going to hire you guys so quick because it can be very overwhelming, the social media management.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hot dog, man. So when working with people, here in the national scale, surely you have, pretty good understanding, of the different states, laws and regulations kind of thing, to better source people. But when it comes to internationally hiring folks kind of things, have you had to do your research on, what places, is best geared for this kind of line of work or what kind of laws regulate this kind of work, et cetera?
That's a great question. And honestly, a lot of our virtual assistants are independent contractors. Now, we do have assistants that get benefits and all of that stuff overseas, which is something we can definitely work out. But the beauty of it is you can hire them as an independent contractor. So you pay them just like any other American software, just like you would go to Starbucks and get a coffee. And then they deal with all of their taxes. And then the rate negotiation from the beginning, you need to be upfront with them and tell them, hey, we're going to pay you as an independent contractor, so you're responsible for your own taxes. And as long as you agree with that upfront, you're not going to have any headaches. Okay.
That's that. And that's kind of like what we do, especially, in live studio production, we're 1099 folks, so you just got to stay on top of your business kind of thing. So of course, understandable. Now, working with different other companies kind of things. Now, some places like here say if we have a person that speaks another language besides English, it may be a requirement that they know English in order to apply for us kind of things. But do you have people maybe on your staff or tools, AI tools that you use to help communicate with folks that do not speak English as a first language or second language?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. We source a lot of bilingual applicants, so it's very common for us to go. My favorite place to hire bilingual applicants, meaning English and Spanish, is in Mexico for sure. Mexico is great because I actually see a lot of people out of Mexico that used to live in America and have moved back to Mexico and are willing to work for virtual assistant rates because their cost of living is so much lower where they live now. And with that, you get an actual American who's had experience working inside of an American company and living in America. And that's something very unique to Mexico that we find. But yeah, it's very easy to find bilingual applicants, especially with the amount of volume we do. Every assistant we place is going to speak fantastic English, of course, but if you do need another language, that's very doable.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I like myself, I've been trying to study German and Japanese for quite some time, and I'm not quite there yet. But, I don't want to offend another person, maybe speaking with an accent because I'm naive,
Right.
Dealing with call centers, you may be calling from a call center that is out of the nation kind of thing. And you don't want to be rude, but maybe sometimes the customers may be struggling with understanding the accent, or maybe their script is a little bit different from what you used to. Have you had experiences with training potential hires for those kind of businesses before?
Yeah, absolutely. We do a lot of calling-based roles, whether that be customer support focused or on the appointment setting side. And we wouldn't necessarily train someone to have a better accent. We would just find someone that has a good accent. It's a lot easier to, especially with the volume we do, it's a lot easier to find someone who speaks very good English and sounds like an American rather than taking someone who might have extra skills somewhere else and train them to speak better. That just wouldn't really make sense. But yeah, it's very easy to find people with good accents. You just have to do, like we said, the volume. I find the people out of South Africa probably have the best accent. It's almost like a little British. It almost sounds British, but it's very similar to Americans, and they don't even notice it most of the time when we get them good applicants.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I love that, man. And then again, no disrespect to anyone else, who may speak another language besides English as their first language. We love you, you know what I'm saying? We're willing to learn kind of thing. It's just always good to know how to be better to the people that are working, because whether they're working here in Indiana or in India, Dubai, we want to treat them with respect because they are working, and bless them. Mm-hmm. So I noticed that your main office is based over here in New York. And since you mostly do a lot of stuff that is virtually based kind of things, do you plan to open maybe like different kind of smaller centers, kind of like how Amazon has different little centers, nationally kind of thing? Or is your business model right now working the best for you, working in New York?
Yeah, I don't plan on opening any in-person locations in spots like South Africa, the Philippines, Latin America. It just wouldn't really make sense for what I'm doing right now to take on that type of overhead for, I'm not going to say no reason, but the assistants we place are delivering very, very well. I mean, we have an 87% retention rate across all those industries we mentioned, meaning the assistant stays with their clients more than 6 months, 87% of the time. So I don't really see too much of a margin for improvement by getting in-person locations and getting out there. That would probably just distract me from getting more clients and getting more assistants placed and finding more people jobs, which is what we're really passionate about here.
Fair enough. Yes. And yeah, like some past generations may, have the frustration and say like, well, I want to talk to a person face to face kind of thing, but as long as you got, somebody that can show you how to use the Zoom or, use your laptop kind of thing, saying it really isn't that hassle. And you guys make it very mainstream so that any kind of generation, age group, business can use your platform.
Absolutely.
I love that. Now, I'm not trying to delve into too much serious talk kind of thing, but like when you're dealing, with people from law, people from medical, people from, bigger, high companies kind of things, they may all have their own regulations about privacy concerns and things like that, like especially medical with HIPAA, with certain law firms, high profile cases kind of things. When it comes to, I guess, how can I word this? I mean, you're just handling the data, and the higher kind of things, whatever. But do you have clients that have any specific requests saying like, hey, show some extra privacy concerns on this matter?
Yeah, when I have a client who has sensitive data and wants to hire an assistant, we have very, very strict processes in place now. We have the contracts. We obviously offer the client the option to give them whatever contract they want as well. We've had HIPAA compliant clients before. We've worked with lawyers. We've been through quite the ringer to really tighten up our processes and make sure it was approved by all these companies. So we just take what we learned from those clients that I had in the beginning. And yeah, we've never had any kind of security breach problem like that.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. And probably because you have, your automation team and your algorithm team on that, like, watching it probably 24/7 kind of thing almost. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine your team is superheroes.
Yeah, I don't deserve my team. My team's amazing.
So when you started with like building up, your team, from toward the beginning kind of thing, did you work with other colleagues that you worked with before, like in school and in other projects, or how did you build up your source team in New York at the beginning?
Like, did I have any co-founders in the business?
Like co-founders or any kind of associates that were similar with the business type that you were doing that, to help, build the image.
Yeah. I mean, my dad's a business owner. He helps me a ton. Okay. He helps me with my taxes at the end of the year. He has his accountant that walks me through a lot of that. But as far as partners in the business, I have no partners. I built this, I'll say by myself, but with the help of my amazing team that, like I said, I don't deserve. They do everything. They work overtime, work around the clock. I'm super, super blessed to have them. And it just shows I practice what I preach. Like, my whole team is virtual. Most of them are from South Africa. Some are from the Philippines and Latin America. And what I do would not even be close to possible without them. So I'm just incredibly blessed to have such a great team, but no American hires. I stick to virtual.
I like that. I like that. And it's another level of, your talent, being able to work with folks, that not just virtually, but that are international as well, kind of thing. And I know you mentioned, you like especially your South African clients and your team as well, because of their kind of level of skills kind of things. Is there any other kind of countries or international clients that you worked with before that specifically you enjoyed their level of expertise?
Yeah, so I think South Africa by far has the best virtual assistant talent on the planet. You're talking about clients or the virtual assistant talent? Sorry.
A little bit of both, actually. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I would say South Africa has the best virtual assistant talent on the planet by far. 75% of my internal team, meaning the people that work for me, are from South Africa. I do have some Latin America and Philippines mixed in there. But yeah, it depends on the role. I see some countries actually excel in specific roles. Like, for example, I don't know why this is, but I've seen the Philippines have the best bookkeeper talent by far, the best accountants, the best people who are going to reconcile all your transactions. I've just seen whenever I've hired that position, the Philippines has been better. When we source, obviously, bilingual candidates, you want to go to a place like Latin America, specifically Mexico is my favorite, but we also look in El Salvador, in Colombia, in Argentina sometimes. So yeah, it really does depend. I could give a full list of exactly what country is best at what tasks, which I do have a long form video on my YouTube about. But yeah, I would say primarily South Africa is going to have the best talent. But yeah, it's more about the volume you do in the interviews rather than the country they're from, because you can find fantastic applicants out of countries that I haven't even mentioned, and you can find terrible applicants out of South Africa, and that's just the truth.
It's all about finding those right folks that, have the drive, and are willing to take the opportunity that is offered to them by yourself.
Exactly.
I can dig it, man. I can dig it, man. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. If they want to drink, they'll drink.
Yeah,
I like it.
Absolutely.
I like it, man. I like it, man. Now, you working with a virtual team that has different time zone kind of things. You're the CEO. You're the man, behind the curtain, pulling all the strings kind of things. How do you sleep? I mean, when do you make time for life, sir? Because I mean, that must be just a full on schedule.
Yeah, I mean, running a business is very, very demanding, especially when you talk to people in all these different countries. I get texted every hour of the day, pretty much. I'll wake up with a full WhatsApp of requests, and it's a lot, but I think what just gets me through it is I genuinely enjoy it. Like, I'm very, very passionate about it because, like I said, every time I place a virtual assistant, I get paid. I help a business owner scale, and then I'm helping find someone a job. Like, it's truly a win-win-win situation that we're providing for all of our people right now. And it is very fulfilling when I'm able to place someone a job and I see their response and they're so excited on the call, and you could just tell they've been applying to role after role and they're just so relieved to get the job, and it's such a good fit and they like their client and the client likes them. It's super rewarding work. So of course, yes, it's very busy, and I have a team that handles so much of the problems that I would have to deal with. So I'm very blessed to have my team, but at the end of the day, it's very, very fulfilling work, and we're very, very motivated to find as many virtual assistants new jobs as possible.
And for being a young man like yourself with such a good head on your shoulders and such an earnest, not to just do well for yourself, but do well for others, I really have to commend you for that.
Thank you.
No, real stuff, man. Real stuff, man. Real eyes, you know what I'm saying? So you doing it. You doing it, man. You doing it, man.
Thank you. I try my best.
Now, this may be a little bit of a hot topic kind of thing. And so with discretion, some folks, I know you guys aren't like a staffing agency per se kind of thing. You hire expert assistants, majority virtual. But have there been instances where, one of your hires that you put with another business needed to contact you for HR, kind of resources to say, hey, maybe this person, this thing isn't working out, or I'm struggling to do better at the task assigned? Have you had instances like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And So we check in with every virtual assistant one-on-one every week. If you're one of my assistants that are hired with one of my clients, you're required to jump on a call with, you could call it our HR team. We have people who are dedicated to this role. And yeah, of course, we have virtual assistants that, it's not a fit for them and they quit. And we have clients that are not satisfied with their virtual assistant every once in a while. But the purpose of those one-on-one calls is to catch issues before they ever come up. So we're already in a groove of talking to them. So if they're having trouble with a certain task, that's going to get brought up on the call, and we're going to be able to catch it ahead of time. So that way we can either go to the client and say, hey, your assistant's having trouble with XYZ task. Is there anything we can do to help them out? Or if it's an issue where the assistant thinks it's not a fit and they want to quit, we're able to catch this pretty early and say, hey, I think we're going to need to find a replacement for them. Let's start looking now. Let's give them 1 week, 2 weeks notice, whatever it is. So that way it's a little bit smoother of a transition and you're not just getting ghosted like some horror stories that we've seen online.
Yes. And not to try to, point fingers at any specific kind of group or individuals or anything like that, but especially with, these folks now, Gen Zs and below kind of thing, the younger generation that grew up with the iPad, in the crib kind of thing. Have you had, seen a difference in work ethic between some people, from like the 18 to 25 and the 25 and up? Have they had a difference in performance, or they just need more motivation maybe?
Yeah, I would say, well, this is against hiring guidelines, so I guess caution there, but I really only hire people that are above 25. It's very rare I would hire someone who's still in university or just getting out of college. And we don't necessarily discriminate by age. The reason that happens is because we look for experience. It's very hard to have 5 years of experience in a law firm if you're still in university, that just doesn't really make sense. So yeah, I would say that the best age group to hire for would probably be in that 26 to maybe 40 range. I find that obviously we have people older than that are doing great, but the adaptation, what it takes to adopt the technology and have a completely virtual role. I don't know if that's the exact reason, but I can assume that might be a little bit harder for people that have a little bit of an older age in these countries.
Indeed. And working with, I can't believe I didn't think about this earlier, but working with, some of your clients in different countries, that maybe their signal with Wi-Fi may not be as good, or the resources availability to technology may not be as great. Do you have options to offer them, other assistance, so that way maybe, if they need help to get a laptop, or if they need to find a way to, handle incoming calls, for call center jobs, things like that?
Yeah. So, the truth of the matter is that if they do have bad Wi-Fi, they're probably not going to get an opportunity to be hired, as bad as that sounds. If we get on an interview and their Wi-Fi is not good, that's automatically a red flag. Are there people with bad Wi-Fi that can probably do a good job in the role? I'm sure there are. But does the fact that they have bad Wi-Fi increase the likelihood that they're not going to perform in the role? I would say yes as well. So we tend to stay away from people who have bad Wi-Fi, people who need a laptop or something like that to do work for their client probably just wouldn't get hired, truthfully.
And that's not you being, difficult, or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You're already offering a lot of great opportunities and tools for folks to get hired, kind of thing. But, you can't bring the spoon to their mouth, kind of thing.
Right.
I when I was out of transportation and working, 30 miles away from home, I got on the bus and I made sure I got there, if they want to work, they will make it happen. There are internet cafes. There are relatives you can go to their house, and use resources for. So yeah, this is not a platform for folks that just want to work at McDonald's. This is a platform for folks that want to make money. And that's great.
Absolutely. We hire professional people, and professional people show up ready to work every single day. They have good Wi-Fi, they have a computer, they have everything they need.
I love it. The only thing that you don't offer them is the will, and that's what they come with when they apply.
Yep, that's what they need.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all this information about your company.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. It was fun.
Do you have any last little bit of advice for the listeners?
I would say every business owner, I think there are roles that Americans are still meant for. Like I think high-level sales roles, C-level roles should still be American, but I think every company should have a virtual department. I think there are absolutely places where you need to be hiring virtually and not taking American overhead. And if you don't have that department in your company yet, it might be time to start. So if you would like to do that, find me on Instagram, find my website, book a call with me. I'm sure it'll be in the description somewhere. And yeah, I'd love to talk to you and see if we can help you out with that.
Very, very true, folks. Especially you guys, with your 10K revenue, profits, and higher kind of thing. You may be Superman, but even Superman needs a team. Even Superman needs the Avengers.
Absolutely. Right.
Well, thank you so much again for joining us and sharing all of that wealth of knowledge, man.
All right. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
All right. Well, you heard it from Mr. Ontra yourself, guys. The opportunity is there. You just got to find him on expertassistance.com. Reach out to him on Instagram. The opportunity is there. He's going to give you everything you need. All you need is the will. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this week, and we'll talk to y'all next time.